Previously on Daxplore.
Hotel photography is less about accuracy and more about aspiration. The goal isn't to show you what the room actually looks like. The goal is to convince you that this is the perfect room for your trip.
And coming up in today's video, you want what we made you in 2000? Yeah, no problem. Just countering the inflation. It will be double this time.
Produced here.
Well, hello there everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Nice to have you here. Today we're going to be reacting to something that I've been wanting to react to for quite a long time, and that is the renovation project of Colossos, the wooden roller coaster in Heide Park, which is one of the largest parks in Europe and situated in northern Germany. I personally have never been to the park before. It is on my to-do list, but I thought before we go and visit, let's see what they've done to this beautiful coaster. They renovated it a few years ago. I think it was 2019, 2019, maybe that time. And yeah, I found a documentary from Welt, which is a great YouTube channel. They do documentaries on loads of different things and on specialist subjects, and they've done an entire documentary dedicated to Heide Park and what they did to this renovation. So let's get stuck into it. I cannot wait to share it with you, and let's react together.
Hundreds of workers are breathing new life into Europe's highest wooden roller coaster.
Europe's
Colossos
highest
is set to return.
Did not know that. See,
People from China say, how can you make such a gigantic structure just out of wood? How can these thin Mikado sticks hold?
As part of a unique revamp, the technicians have to install enormous elements and exchange each and every rail, even at dizzying heights.
each and every single rail.
It's nothing to do with fear, just caution, because every wrong step up here is fatal.
Great.
For the team, a battle against the elements is about to begin, and against the clock. The major 3-year project has its pitfalls.
That's critical for the project.
I know.
Doesn't look like an easy job, does it? To be very honest. Wow. Major roller coaster renovation, the return of Colossos.
Heide Park Soltau offers adrenaline junkies lots of attractions and rides.
So want to visit Heide Park, but it's so far away from us.
The wooden roller coaster Colossus is the park's biggest draw. It's been defining the amusement park skyline since 2001. With a height of 60 meters, 61-degree drops, and peak speeds of 110 kilometers per hour,
Wow.
It's still Europe's highest and fastest wooden roller coaster.
So it's a lot higher and a lot
It once
faster than
cost
Woden,
45
the
million
Europa Park.
Deutschmarks and is a giant of world renown, made in Germany.
Deutschmarks, yeah, 2001 is when they changed the Deutschmarks to euros.
Bastian Lampe, head of rides, experienced the most glorious of times with the roller coaster.
Hello, Bastian.
I remember the first season here, waiting time was of 4 hours and everyone was thrilled. People were coming out and just couldn't get over it. They were
4
virtually in
hours
tears,
wait
hugging one another.
for a roller
Heide Park is
coaster.
proud of that. Colossus represents Heide Park like no other roller coaster.
But over 20 million passengers in 15 years have taken their toll. The ride closed in 2016, and the renovation work began. Project manager Thorsten Berwald and his team of park planners analyze all of the components and face the mammoth task of having to renew the 1,500-meter-long rail network, as well as numerous load-bearing crossbeams called ledgers.
It's like a railroad. We have 2 rail sections and the ledger beneath them. This is the actual construction that will now be replacing one-to-one.
When it was built back in 2000,
So you have to make all of those pieces, like, in a warehouse, like, one-to-one, and then they're going to change them out one by one after, like... And what did they say, 3 or 4 years? That sounds a long time, but I think if you have to change this entire roller coaster, that is not a long time at all. That is not a long time at all. And you've got to remember, I think the park has been open during that time as well. So you've got to get around guests and everything else, like the upkeep of the entire park as well whilst you're renovating this at the same time.
The
That
people
is
in
crazy.
charge decided to use prefabricated rails made of laminated veneer lumber. Only these rails can guarantee Colossus's high speeds.
This wooden body is what's called a cato beam. Cato lumber is basically what you see here, very thin layers of pine wood glued on top of each other. The entire rail cross-section is fully impregnated over the whole surface. That's why it's particularly durable and stable. At the end of the day, this is no longer lumber as such, it's more of a technical product that we have here.
Stainless steel step plates and threaded connections are intended to extend the service life.
It was a custom production, and that's now being completely recreated. We've improved some of the details and incorporated them into the rails and the ledger construction. In terms of material quality and carrying capacity, it's the best material you can install there.
But customized production also has its disadvantages. It's not so easy to carry out repairs on site if things wear out or are damaged.
You could remove 3 boards from a classic board rail construction, for example, nail 3 new boards on, sand them down, assemble them, and away you go. You can renew a section like that relatively easily. But the problem here is that you're dealing with pretty expensive individual components, and they have to be coordinated with each other.
It's like a huge Lego set.
Dismantling
Just like an
starts.
enormous Lego
At the
set.
first hill after the banked turn, the workers are removing the first rails.
Today's
That's
the
the
big
easy
day.
part.
The rails are going to be carefully taken down, removed from the actual structure, set down and properly disposed of. That's not so easy because of the 2 components, metal and wood. If you have a look at the bolts and the connection,
And I mean, it's a good thing, but being in Germany, like, separating your different components is key. They are very, very strict when it comes to recycling and stuff like that. So that is a whole issue in itself.
we've got quite a task facing us here as well.
So have to take all the parts off, get rid of the parts, dispose of them, get the new parts made and the new parts put in, all in 4 years. For the largest and fastest roller coaster.
Over the next few months,
Wooden
the
roller
workers
coaster
also have to tackle
did they
the
say the
beams
world
beneath the
or
rails.
Europe?
They have to exchange
Madness.
a good third of them, a total of 356 beams.
But then I suppose it's just a matter of time, isn't it? With a roller coaster like that. I mean, wooden roller coasters are not built for eternity. You're gonna have to renew them and swap them out at some stage because wood will decay, won't it? So it's just a matter of time, really. So if you consider 2001 to 2016, that's a long time, and it's 15 years. So that's probably what they planned from the beginning of installing it. They probably already knew, okay, 15 years later, we're going to have to change it all out. So they probably knew that this was coming. They probably planned it a lot in advance as well. So it's not like it's all come at once.
You secure
what I'm
the ledger
guessing
with
anyway,
the crane,
I mean.
of course, so nothing can happen. Then you take
Sorry,
out the
Woodie
bolts
knows.
here. You can use a bit of force to knock them out. This part of the ledger is taken away first, and then these 2 are removed together.
Each ledger, each rail looks slightly different because the elements have to withstand different stresses. Nobody has ever exchanged all of the wooden rails on a ride like this before. It's
okay, so it's a
superlative
first as well.
renovation
All right,
project
okay.
with a price tag of 12.5 million euros. If possible, some of the roller coaster's elements are to be
Didn't they say it
reused.
it was 5 million
The
marks to
lift
build
chain,
it?
which is only 6 years old,
it's double
is
that.
lying in the station.
Just
It
to
pulls
renovate
the train
it.
up the first hill.
But I suppose
The
a lot of
chain
things
is
have got more
several
expensive as
hundred
well, haven't
meters
they?
long and exposed to enormous stresses.
Inflation and all.
It's well lubricated, as you can see. It looks nice and greasy. There's a bit of flash rust because it's been idle for a while. But we've kept running it occasionally, even while the roller coaster has been out of service, to keep it lubricated, moving and fresh. And it moves nice and smooth, no problems there. A new chain would cost several tens of thousands of euros. I guess a lift chain like this will cost around 60 to 70,000 euros. You're pretty happy if you can recycle it.
The fact that the 6-ton lift chain has been removed offers further advantages.
At last, we can now inspect the components as well. When the chain's installed, you can't turn them by hand. These are the contact surfaces. Is the sprocket uniform or is it worn? But that looks very, very good. The only tough thing is the heavy weight. I think this sprocket alone weighs 300 to 400 kilos because it's made of thick iron. Setting that in motion is no easy task. But when it runs perfectly.
For the reopening, everything has to be as good as new, so the powers that be can guarantee everything will run smoothly over the coming years. That's why the old parts are being checked precisely, even those high up.
Here we go.
Here you can see a lawn sprinkler. The plan was originally to let grass grow over the entire track. No, I'm just joking. So here we have a lawn sprinkler. It's a classic sprinkler that we use to water the track if necessary. It's not there to soak the track. It's simply there to keep the wood's moisture content at around 60% so it doesn't become brittle and break.
That's particularly important during hot spells. Bastian Lampe orders additional lawn sprinklers. Next comes the airtime hill. Airtime is the moment at which the passenger is lifted out of his seat.
There are lots of tracks with about a second of airtime, just a short time when you're up in the air. But here you have 3, 4, not quite 5, but about 4 seconds of continuous airtime that you can really enjoy. Well, I really enjoy being thrown upwards. You can also be utterly terrified for 4 seconds, but I love it.
In around 1 year, that should all be possible again. Reopening has been announced for April, in time for the important Easter season. Down in the station, the team is in discussion. Besides exchanging the rails and cross members, the track will also be getting a new attraction.
As an on-top element, we've thought up a gigantic themed figure for our guests, which the roller coaster will pass through. We've also come up with show effects within the themed figure.
So they're updating
We've
it
thought
as
about
well,
how we can make
well,
it
you might
come
as
to
well,
life,
if you've
how
got
to
the
make it really
opportunity to,
tangible
you
for
might as
our
well
guests.
go with the times.
A steel construction
So a figure that people can go through with effects that sort of screams Alton Towers to me. Well, let's see what they do. Wicker Man
the framework
vibes.
for the track's extension.
There's the side.
The new Colossus theme is called Clash of the Titans. The new figure will be accordingly large. When finished, it will be 25 meters high. But nobody is to see what's being built here yet. The construction site at the end of the roller coaster is completely shrouded. It's a well-kept secret. Whatever is being built here will be gigantic.
Gigantic.
3 weeks later, the rails have already been completely removed from the lower straights. The technicians are now having to work higher up. Here too, the workers have to remove all of the bolts, saw through wood, and lift out the rails and crossbeams.
That's going to be a lot of work, I think. Of course, it's especially difficult up there. We're pretty used to that, but this is a wooden roller coaster, and we're not used to that. It's crucial that people are wearing their harnesses.
So are they
Keeping
specialised
yourself safe is the most important thing before
on
starting
roller
work at
coasters? And
all.
I take it, if he says we're used to roller coasters, but we're not used to
Working
wooden
at
roller
these
coasters.
heights is only permitted with the relevant training and appropriate safety equipment.
Yeah, always.
The personal
Safety's key,
equipment has to be checked each time before starting
especially
work.
when you're going that high.
This is the fall arrestor, for example. I'm suspended in that. When I climb up the beams, it moves upwards and lets me move as normal. If I fall down, it triggers and stops me from falling. This is the webbing brake. Lots of climbers use these. It's incredibly important. Personally, I attach myself at the front. There are other belts where you attach yourself at the back. That's very important for scaffolders because when you change position, you're always hooked on.
Möglichkeiten, halt zu wechseln, ne? Dass man immer angegurtet ist quasi.
The team works with the heavy components at heights of up to 60 meters.
You're at an angle as
The
well. That
safety
must be so
equipment and
difficult
its
to
correct
do.
use are vital. This is not your average day at the office.
After all, this is Europe's highest wooden roller coaster. And the biggest challenge is firstly, that nothing happens to anybody. And secondly, that we stay on schedule.
The first of the new components will be arriving shortly. Before they do, the assembly team has to have
How do you
removed
even
enough
know,
of the
like,
old
even if
rails
you
and their cross members.
Number all the parts. How on earth
But
do
if
you
the
sort
weather
that
doesn't
all
play
out?
ball, it's not possible to work on the wooden construction.
Of
That
course,
would
weather
be too
issues.
dangerous.
When it rains, it's more slippery, of course, because algae is formed on the old timbers. That's completely normal. It's just like your carport at home.
Yeah, but it's like typical that they have to do it in winter as well, when the park's probably. I'm not sure if Heide
And
Park is open all
naturally,
year
more
round.
verdigris is formed in the
Maybe they're
shady
doing it
spots.
during the season,
It's
like
not so
off
nice,
season,
but it's also not a problem because all the timber
which would
is
make
deep
sense,
pressure
obviously,
impregnated.
because then you can move about more easily and stuff. But
A regional company is manufacturing the
don't
cross
know.
members and making sure they're weather resistant. This timber construction company was involved in assembling Colossus back in 2000 and therefore has the necessary experience.
so here we go.
Hier sieht man einige Ledger.
Here you can see some of the ledgers. They're chamfered here at the top. That's where
We
the
know what we're
railroads are
doing.
very
We'll just
famous.
make it all
So
again.
each ledger is different.
Was man hier noch sieht.
Here you can see the holes and recesses for the
But we'll
fasteners
charge you double
that are
this
used
time,
to
thank
bolt
you.
the whole thing together.
Wo das Ganze dann mit zusammengeschraubt wird.
Typical.
Over 300 of these new support beams are being
Oh, what you want? You want what we made you in 2000? Yeah, no problem. Just countering the inflation. It will be double this time.
produced here, exactly according to the engineer's specifications. The timbers arrive pre-cut from the company's own sawmill. They're given their final shape in the computer-controlled joinery machine, all strictly according to plan.
Wir wissen jetzt schon, welches
So it's a
Stück
German
We
company
already
as
know
well,
which
so they're not
component this is
importing it
going
from
to be.
like
They're drawn
China or
individually
something.
into the machine here and
Which
are
is
then
good.
processed.
Bearbeitung.
That usually starts
Very
with
local.
the sawing unit, then they're milled, drilled and otherwise processed until the component is ready.
Bauteil fertig ist.
Once they're completed, the components are protected against weathering. The lumber is exposed to the elements for years and mustn't lose any of its safety-relevant properties.
Hier in der Kesselbruck-Anlage
Here in the pressure treatment plant is where we impregnate the individual timbers. We use a vacuum pressure method with heavy metal-free impregnating salt to completely soak the pine wood. This is where we input the impregnation program.
Hier wird das
We use the full cell method, meaning that the timber is impregnated until it can't absorb any more preservative.
lange imprägniert, bis es kein weiteres Schutzmittel mehr aufnimmt.
After
very
pressure
bad.
impregnation, the new
got that
ledgers
song
are
in my head
not
the whole
only
time
weather
because it keeps
resistant, they're
saying
also
timber.
protected against insect infestation and fungal growth. As
Things you gotta think about.
dismantling continues, reconditioned ledger
Weather,
blocks are also being
animals,
installed on the wooden
fungi.
roller coaster. The stress on some sections of the construction is particularly high. Here, the cross members are additionally reinforced with steel plates.
So that's
Now you
where
could say, oh,
immense
it's not a
pressure is
real
put to
wooden
the
roller
track,
coaster
like at
anymore.
those points.
Purists might complain, but we can't engineer it any other way. We're working with lumber from trees, and when I look at one of these ledgers, it's not from the center of the tree. It has no core timber. It's from the left or right of the tree's center, and it needs a certain thickness. And if you design the ledgers increasingly larger, at some point there are no longer any trees you can use to produce these ledgers.
Before the technicians can align and secure the parts, they tighten the connections with an impact
I just keep
wrench.
shaking my head. I know, but it's just so
Next,
it's so
special anchors
incredible.
are used to provide additional stability.
Like all the factors that you have to
Man sieht
take
hier
into
so eine
consideration when making something like this.
Here you can
You can't
see a
use any old
spike-like
wood. I mean,
back
obviously you
structure.
can't
These
use
are
any
called
old
gig
wood,
anchors.
but
Ultimately, they transfer the forces from that component to that component. They're pressed in.
It's
then the
actually quite
bolts are
fascinating,
tightened,
to be honest.
And then we have a connection between the ledger and this vertical part, which is what we call a column leg.
and it's just like saying as if it's like so obvious.
Alongside, the
I'm
anchors
just
are
like,
being
oh,
removed
yeah.
from the old ledgers by hand. That takes time and effort, but there's a good reason for it.
If they remain intact when we remove them, we can reuse them. You might think, oh, silly Geka anchor, but they're relatively expensive. When you build a carport, you need 8 of them. We need thousands, so it makes sense to reuse parts, particularly in a big project like this.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I'm sure not all of the entire construction is damaged. I mean, you're obviously going to have to take out the elements that are, or replace the elements, renovate the elements, and the parts that get the most friction and the most wear. There are always going to be those sections where the train and the track, like, really, do you know what I mean? So I was thinking at the beginning, they're not going to change the entire thing, are they? I mean, it might make sense to change the entire thing because then you will have like years of peace after that again before you have to do it all again. Because if you're just going to change it gradually, just some parts, then I suppose you're always going to have the risk of some parts like breaking earlier than others. So you continuously have to renew things. So if you do it all at once and then you know everything's new and then you do it all again at the same time, they all have the same lifespan. That's probably what I'm trying to say. But if there's some parts, like he just said, that are like not damaged at all and they are really expensive, then why not use it again?
Because they really
Sustainability, innit?
One anchor costs around 10 euros. 4 to 8 of them are needed per crossbeam, depending on stress.
So
this
4 to
means
8
that
per
with all of the
crossbeam.
356 ledgers to be removed, a total of almost 30,000 euros can be saved.
Yeah, there, see?
The old ledger
Why
shoes
not?
are also reused. Later on, they'll connect the support beams to the rail sections. The steel connectors are hammered onto the ledgers and aligned. As much as possible is to be reused during the renovation work. The threaded connections are completely new, though. Special nuts are used.
You might think they're bent. They have small indentations here. They're pressed onto the thread, and this nut then secures itself. So it can't come loose again because it has a self-locking function.
Do you know what I find absolutely amazing? This is all just for our leisure. I mean, none of this, let's be honest, none of this is vital for everyday life. This is all luxury. This is just so we can have 2 minutes, maximum 3 minutes of fun on that ride. And you don't even take into consideration or even nearly appreciate the work that goes into that and what and how it's built and stuff. People just go on it, they queue up, go on it, go home. And I suppose that's the whole point of it. You're not meant to think about the issues and well, not so much issues, but you're not really meant to think about the workings behind the scenes. But it is, if you get into this, it really is fascinating to know what goes on behind the scenes. And this is all just for 2 minutes of our pleasure. Crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
If you hold them next to one another, you can see the difference between the nuts.
Every single inch
a connection has to be reliable,
of track
and
and accessory and everything that
really
is used to build this is thought out to the T, which it has to be.
Under the supervision of the technical manager,
you don't really think about it. It just doesn't cross your mind.
4 to 6 new ledgers each day. Fewer is not acceptable, or the reopening at Easter.
I just say the next time you're in a queue for a wooden roller coaster, whether it's
a few weeks later,
Wicker Man or Woden in Europa Park or wherever, or Heide Park, just stand in the queue and look up.
I know.
It's absolutely amazing.
The planners can foresee the first scheduling difficulties.
Oh, so we've got difficulties already. What's going on?
Then our colleague won't be there any longer. You won't be there, and nor will you. What are we going to do?
Why are they all
On
leaving?
top of that, the next load of rails is overdue.
Don't leave.
Without the material, the technicians are forced to take a break. The guys working on the new themed figure are right on schedule, though. A tree-like structure is emerging on the steel
A tree-like structure. That does look like Wicker Man.
Then comes the saving call.
Okay, I'll drive there now and fetch the truck. Truck's there, Sven.
Looks like
Okay,
they've
see you
taken some
soon,
inspiration from elsewhere, haven't they?
There were transport difficulties. Then there was heavy traffic on the freeway. We've been waiting a while. We all have. I think we can get to work right away now.
Moin.
Hey,
Moin.
rails? Rails.
10 rails are arriving from the supplier with each truckload. The technicians want to install 3 of them today.
Time is money, right?
Well, yeah.
Before the rail sections are taken to the track, they're checked.
You can recognize a good rail by its really smooth surface. It's been wonderfully impregnated for weeks. You can also see here that everything that's been cut out has been painted individually. The bolts have been recessed in the support area. That's really great. Great quality, and it looks really good. Can't say more than that. You really can't tell that it used to be a tree.
The product appears to be okay.
Exactly. That's why you check the quality, to make sure that everything arrives safe and sound. Excuse me?
Has the load shifted or what?
What shifted?
Come on up, son.
Oh, he's not happy. He's not happy. He's found an issue.
Take photos.
Yeah.
They're all touching.
Yeah, okay.
At the back, too.
Will do.
Some of the expensive rails
Oh,
are
boss isn't
directly touching
happy.
each other. That could
Does it
have
say they
caused
shifted during
transport
transit?
damage.
Well, that's not allowed to happen,
That's
is it?
not good.
We'll have to watch out a bit next time. Like here. These are nice spacers. We'll have to do that there as well next time. As you can see, there are lots of people here in the truck, all checking to make sure everything's
Truck
okay.
driver on the phone to his
Important, because when the parts
to
are
his
installed up there
insurance
later on,
company straight
we have
away.
to
It
make
wasn't
absolutely
me.
sure that everything
It
fits
wasn't
right
me.
away. You can't keep installing and removing things. It takes far too long.
A mobile construction crane lifts the wooden rails out of the truck. Each rail is removed individually and maneuvered carefully. With a material value of around 15,000 euros, the cargo is very costly. The rails are first temporarily stored. The delivered components have to go right at the top of the track. After shifting position, the telescopic crane lifts the rails into place. Carpenter Carsten Hennig supervises the construction site from the cherry picker.
Cherry picker.
As you can see here, we've built platforms everywhere to ensure that the work is safe, that it works. And you can see all the new ledgers we've installed. We've made real progress.
The new rails are going to be installed in the starting turn. At around 60 meters, it's the highest point of the track. The assembly team is waiting on the platform at position 32, amid the 120,000-piece wooden construction. The workers
God, I'd love
transport
to
the
stand up
first
there.
rail to its final
Sorry, I'm not talking a
destination.
lot, but I'm just
Crucial
mesmerized.
for the crane operator down below and the technicians up on the track to work together precisely. They pull the component into the right position using guide ropes.
Here we go. Come on, come on, come on.
Once it's in position, it's set down and adjusted. And the rail is then fastened to the rail shoe with long
And
studs.
then it didn't fit. Imagine, just imagine.
Good. 1 minute.
There was
The
like an
studs
inch
are
that
greased
just
for
there was
assembly.
overlapping
The
or
workers can then drive them easily into the wood. The components don't always fit precisely, but the construction workers are prepared for that.
If there's too
always
much paint
gonna
on the
be a
rail,
bit
it
of-
sometimes doesn't fit together
It's
as
wood.
easily as this. Then you have to pull them together with 2 chain hoists.
okay.
Of
I was
course,
just going to
I
say
don't
what
want to lift
happens
the
if it.
entire toolbox up here because there'd be no room for anybody to move. So I hope that it fits like that one. Then the tools we have here will be enough.
The wind picks up, twice as
God, I'm
noticeable
stressed just
and
watching this.
hazardous at this height. The rail starts to swing.
Leo, watch it. Boom.
Oh God, no! It's going to hit the side of the.
Boom would be fatal. The workers have to react quickly. They get
Well, that's
the rail
probably really
section
heavy as
back
well.
under control. The component is lifted over the wooden railing into its intended location and installed.
Is that they always? Whenever you do things like this, it always like happens to rain or
good,
wind or like strong weathers. So typical.
Colossus consists of 320 rail sections like this. The components are between 6 and 12 meters
Don't look
long.
down, don't look down.
And each one is different. That makes installing them complicated.
Jeez.
A workplace with a perfect view over Lüneburger Heide. But there's no room for distractions. Mistakes can't be made at this height.
Some want to play around, you know, and you can't play around here. You can see yourself if you play around here. It'll be for the last time.
Oh God, don't talk like that. Why are they always so dramatic?
It's nothing to do with fear, just caution.
They love it though,
Because
you
up
can
here,
tell they love
every
it.
wrong step is fatal. It's very simple.
Yeah, but why is it fatal? Because you've got you're attached to the harness.
The valley. The first hill and the first turn at the start of the track have been completed. Theoretically, wagons could already run along here before plummeting down the 61-degree downgrade.
That is a long drop. That looks so much fun. I need to get to Heide Park.
The new themed figure is already clearly visible at the end of the roller coaster.
Oh, come on. That is Wicker Man.
high
Come
demon.
on.
The
That is
embodiment
Wicker
of a
Man.
dark force that wants to destroy Colossus. A battle between fire and wood. That's what the
I don't know.
amusement
What's your
park's
thoughts
new
on that?
story
Write in the comments below,
envisages.
guys. Write in the comments below. What is your thought
Work
on
the
that?
demon is still in full swing.
I think that they've
The
got their
figure is
inspiration
slowly
from
taking
elsewhere.
on its final form.
This is an artificial rock structure that you can see here. The actual supporting framework is a steel structure. The outer shell itself is artificial rock. That's a pure cement mortar made specifically for the sculpturing work so that we can model the figure accordingly.
Looks great though.
The future resort map shows the figure's highlight.
So it's
the
gonna-
monster is tearing the rail out of the track. At least, that's what the visitors are supposed to think.
Right.
Not just on paper. When the passengers
What are your
approach,
thoughts, guys?
the
What
section
are your
briefly
thoughts?
appears to be
Let me know.
interrupted, destroyed.
Looks great,
An
though.
optical illusion for a quick scare. Then the actual section beneath becomes visible again, and the visitors pass through the evil creature. A keen imagination is still needed, but the team is working hard to achieve the desired effect.
The scary and striking element will be highlighted and emphasized with additional show effects. This isn't just a static figure. This figure comes to life thanks to light effects, fog effects, fire effects. All in all, I think the result will be more than acceptable in combination with the figure itself.
A section of the roller coaster track runs through the hellish being, and that means that special safety precautions apply. What's called a pull-through test is carried out to check whether the wagon can pass through the figure without any issues.
Okay.
Part of the train, the first and second wagons, are moved very slowly along the entire section with winches, so we can check whether the track width and the chassis are okay over every centimetre. They shift while they're running. The train articulates in the dips and on the humps. The trains twist when they're moving into a turn. Does anything mechanical touch inside the vehicles? Does everything match the simulation and the computer models?
The rest of the track also undergoes this check. After the tests, work continues on finishing the demon.
Right, they finished it now.
The themed figure's outer shell is almost done. Just the show effects are missing. Light, fire, and smoke are to accompany the passage through the figure. A towering, evil demon that appears to tear the rails out of the track.
That does look cool though.
The remainder of the roller coaster is now almost complete again, too. 3,000 meters of rails have been installed. 160 elements on the left track and 160 on the right. The final pair is particularly special. It ultimately has to compensate for the tolerances that occur when building a wooden roller coaster.
That is a long-ass roller coaster.
That's what
I
we
need
call
to
a
get there. I
fitted
need to get there to
panel.
Heide Park.
It's a section of rail that wasn't prefabricated.
I know I keep
based
saying it, but I
on
need to get
plans.
there.
Instead, it was measured beforehand based on the final gap and was only manufactured afterwards. That means we haven't had any rails delivered for a while. We've all been waiting for the fitted panel.
The crane lifts the final rail into place.
Oh, so you're always waiting on one piece, aren't you? It's like the last piece of the puzzle.
The time reserves for the complete revamp have been used up, and the team is running late. All of the companies that took part in the original construction of Colossus are also involved in its restoration. The planners were hoping that this experience would boost efficiency. But things have proved not to be so simple.
A lot of time had passed, so things didn't go as smoothly as we'd first thought, because a lot had to be relearned during rail
things are not
production.
going to go as planned. They never
As a
do.
result, parts of the rails had to be removed and reworked again. Quite a lot, in fact. That delayed things a little and proved unexpectedly complicated because, in effect, this is another prototype.
The final rail is installed at fitted panel 5. It's seated perfectly.
Well done, guys.
The workers hammer in the final stud, number 960. That marks the closure and completion of the track.
Hey! Round of applause to all. Look at the relief on their faces.
Rails, the team learned from its experiences with the old track.
Probably sick of looking at
new
wood.
Components should guarantee even longer durability. The bridging plates and rail joints are wider and longer than before. The track rails now have more threaded connections. Lots of details were further developed.
One of the most important developments is the stainless steel threaded connections. They're much more expensive, but necessary. Unlike zinc, steel doesn't react with the wood or its impregnation.
So it's just
And it
longer
remains
lasting.
intact for a long time, so you can retighten the bolts. The old bolts had deteriorated so much that they couldn't be retightened.
Nothing will deteriorate here. A few days after completion, the new wagons are on the track. The test runs are taking place on April 1st of all days. The trains are loaded with plastic dummies of various designs. To achieve a realistic weight, they're filled with water. From the station, the first train ascends to the starting turn, a height of around 60 meters. The chain drive works perfectly.
Good, good.
After the first turn, the train hurtles downwards. But there are no cries of fear or pleasure yet. Hundreds of sensors have been installed along the track.
I can just feel the airtime on there now.
Each malfunction first has to be programmed, tested, and simulated. An incredibly important, but also very laborious process for the team. The testers are now doing around 40 laps every day.
40 laps every day.
Directly. Readjustment and reprogramming are carried out time and again. The values from the old Colossus roller coaster are of little use.
Basically, we've built a completely new roller coaster. It just happens to look almost identical to the old one. But the rails are new, the control system is new, and the trains are new. So the entire process.
Oh, the trains are new as well. I didn't even realize that they changed the entire trains.
If we'd only exchanged the rails but not the control system, that would have been easy. But standards have changed in the meantime, and you have to take that into account.
Always go with the times.
But time is pressing. In 3 weeks, Colossus is to be approved and open to the public.
And I take it they were very
However,
outdated,
the trains
2001.
are still causing difficulties. They're far too fast.
Oh, they're far too fast. But fast is good.
Guests will think great, fast trains.
Yeah.
But with a big extreme roller coaster like this, that also means you quickly reach the limits of what's acceptable, whether they're medical or material limits. So now we have to do lots of test runs, lots of adjustment work. We're trying out various wheel materials. We have various brakes on the track that now have to be programmed. When are they applied or not to regulate the speed? It's really a pretty big problem.
If the brakes are applied too much at the
It's
front,
such
the wagon
a
is too slow at the rear. Fine-tuning is now
huge
needed.
project.
All load conditions are also simulated. empty and fully
That's what I'm
loaded.
saying. That's what we take for
Children only,
granted because
or
we just queue up and
heavyset
go on it.
people.
2 minutes of fun.
Each
Oh,
scenario
great,
is
thanks.
played through here.
Go home. You don't really
So the
don't take
plastic
into
passengers
consideration
go
everything
round
that
and round,
they have to take
thundering
into
past the
account
workers
to make
involved
that
in
work.
converting the Colossus station.
That's all good. Not a problem. We were delighted when it finally started up again. I think it'll be more interesting than before. It's got a bit more kick.
The wooden roller coaster's entire surroundings are being redecorated to match the new theme.
Around 30 lamps have been installed with technology that simulates flames, some LED light strips, and then new lighting effects in the station.
That's a great sign.
Effects in the figure too. Quite a lot.
The station interior is also being redesigned. Artist Vitaly Rasparov is at work in front of the entrance to Colossus. He has to repaint a total area of 1,000 square meters.
Wow, 1,000
Not just the
square
station
meters.
itself, but also the shops and snack bars. Everything has to
donuts.
match the new theme.
Kampf der Giganten.
Clash of the
Is he
Titans.
spraying the
You have to get into it a
Teddies.
bit and understand it,
plushies?
and get a feel for how you can design it.
It was a joke.
Ich habe Skizzen natürlich.
Of course, I received sketches from the designer in London.
Und dann habe ich so
Then I came up with a solution and did some samples on different timber boards.
Holzbretter und dann wurde gesagt, so.
Then I was told that's how we want it. So I started to design all of the buildings.
Doesn't seem happy, does he?
Die ganze Gebäude zu
He's
gestalten.
probably really
The
tired.
basic color is jet black. The artist has almost used up his fifth 10-liter pail. The professional artist uses a trick to produce the new flame look.
Oh, here we go. This is it.
Das Ding habe ich selber gebaut, ja? Das ist für
I built this thing myself. It's for special effects. And now we have flame effects everywhere.
The artist has been working at Heide Park for 5
Yeah, well,
months.
show us how it works
There
then.
are 2 weeks to go.
Why didn't
Then
he show us?
The flame effects
How
have
we
to be finished.
self-built.
Ich habe feste Termine, ja, auch.
I have set
Project.
dates for specific objects. The shop,
Works.
for example, should have been finished 2 weeks ago. The hot dog stands too. Fixed dates wherever you look.
Termine, bestimmte, das steht
I
schon
want to know how his
fest.
flame effect works.
Not only the artist, but the entire park team is now working extra shifts. The punctual opening deadline cannot be jeopardized. In the final phase, work is therefore being carried out at night and on weekends as well.
Around the
And
clock
the
project.
schedule can be kept too. The team managed to complete all of the work on time.
Wow. Well
The
done,
water
guys.
dummies have left the roller coaster. Now visitors are all to fill the trains, but only if no defects are discovered on the reopening date. The carpenter responsible carries out a final inspection of the entire ride.
I'm not only taking a look at the rails, but also the construction around the rails.
I would not even know what
For
to look at.
example, I'm also looking at
Yep,
the ledgers
wood.
to make
Yep, wood
sure
looks
all of
looks
the bolts
secure.
are
Yep,
fastened.
looks good and secure. Yep, bolts
Whether
tight,
there are
nice,
any
good.
cracks or anything else
That
unusual.
would be me.
I'm also checking whether all of the walkways
That's
are
why
in
it's
place,
not my
whether
job.
the timbers at the side are still there. You just take a good look around, and sometimes I climb down as well. Always at 2 or 3 points that you have to keep your eyes on.
Es kommt immer so auf 2, 3 Punkte darauf an, die man ein bisschen im Auge hat.
They all seem so
Particular
casual,
attention
don't they?
is paid to
Yeah,
the
I'll
new
just check this, I'll
construction
check
with its
that.
now
Yeah.
completed demon.
No big deal.
The figure's new. This is pretty much my first experience of it, so I'm going to take a closer look at this area.
When he leaves the rails, Carsten Hennig uses the fall arrestor. It protects him by engaging and locking if he stumbles or falls. From down here, the carpenter checks whether any part of the rail connections has changed due to the test runs.
This is what's called the stopper rail, this is the guide rail, and that's the running rail. There are bolts in them everywhere, and bolts that are inserted up here come out down here, so you have to climb down occasionally and have a look.
All of the bolts are visible, none are missing. It's also clear that they're secured with the so-called stop nuts.
Why would they be missing?
They serve a particularly important purpose on Colossus because its wooden structure is constantly in motion.
Wenn es viel regnet, dann quillt er etwas
When it
auf.
rains, it
As I
swells
said,
up
wood
slightly. And when
continuously
we have a long
expands
hot
and
spell, it contracts.
contracts.
That's why we also have sprinklers on the ride to compensate for that, so that the swelling isn't excessive.
Damit
And thanks to the stop nuts, the bolts always remain in the same position, so the pressure doesn't destroy the timber.
bleiben halt quasi immer in der gleichen Position, damit das Holz
It's living and breathing, expands and contracts.
das lebt ein bisschen und arbeitet.
When the roller coaster is in operation, 2 other mechanics and a carpenter walk along the track each morning. Carsten Hennig is mainly responsible for the 1.5 kilometer long timber construction. He pays attention to
So I
every
think it's
detail
fascinating there's just one
and
person
knocks
who's
on
responsible
wood
for
a
it all-
lot,
for it all.
Not only because it's lucky.
If he misses one single little detail, then
If you
that's
listen to a
it.
handrail like this, for example, you can tell whether it might be loose.
Dann kann man halt mitbekommen, ob der vielleicht lose ist. Dann macht er
Then
bestimmte
it makes certain
Geräusche,
noises or
er
clacks.
Aber wir haben ja hier
But we have these safety cables here too.
Sicherungsteile, die sind hier so.
If a bolt ever comes loose,
Es ist halt,
the safety cable is always
falls man
there.
eine Schraube lösen sollte.
Everything's
dann
actually
ist man auf das
secured twice.
Sicherungsteil da. Es ist eigentlich immer zweimal abgesichert.
Markings make his job easier, and each support is clearly labeled. Notes are also attached to the sections. Here, each anomaly is noted and then dealt with by the engineers. A very important new sensor has been fitted
So someone
on
else has to
support
go along the whole track and look for
392.
those little notes.
As soon as the train passes this point on
Imagine
the
if they
track,
just miss a
it
note.
triggers the fire and fog effects on the themed figure. It's firmly attached as well. And then the climbing really begins. Everything has to be perfect ahead of the big reopening in a few hours.
Jump,
But
jump,
the rope
jump.
isn't long enough. Carsten Hennig can't go to where he wants to be.
Ich muss einmal die
I'll just have to change position.
paar Nägel
Oh, he
entdeckt,
needs to get
I've
down
seen
there
a
and he
couple of
can't.
nails that I want to knock in.
weil man merkt schon langsam.
You can tell that the dry period is slowly coming.
Und dann kann das schon mal
And with
sein.
these new stresses,
So what did
a
they
few of
say?
the
When
nails
was
can
the
start to
opening
work
date
loose.
in
neuen
like
Belastung
the beginning
halt
of
da mal
Easter?
ein
So
paar Nägel sich da anfangen
April time.
auszuarbeiten.
He rehooks, and off he goes.
Muss man natürlich
You always have to be a bit careful, of course.
It's a lot of effort for 2 slightly loose nails.
I'll
how
fasten
did he
that
see
around
that they
here.
were slightly loose?
Hier ist ja
Here's the
Schoner,
guard, so
das
the
Seil
rope
nicht.
doesn't
Und schon kann
then I
ich
can
klein,
hit this
unwichtigen
little
Nagel hier.
unimportant nail here.
How
and
did he
clack,
see that?
it's in.
Zack, es ist schon drin.
How on earth did he see that? Even if you were on the floor and looked up, you wouldn't have seen that. I don't understand. How on earth did he manage to see that?
The brake system is much more complex.
Hats off to him, though.
It's been completely newly installed.
Gives you
That
reassurance,
solves the
doesn't it? That if
problem
he
with
saw
the
that,
excessively
then
fast
everything must be
wagons.
fine with the ride.
9 block brakes now engage at 5
It's very
positions along the
reassuring.
track if necessary, fully automatically.
Wir müssen die Zuggeschwindigkeit auch unterwegs.
We have to control the train speed when it's moving. It has no brakes on board, they're fitted on the track. We knew in advance that we'd have to brake, but not where the ideal positions were. We found that out during the test runs.
Rausgefunden worden.
Seemingly minor things are also noticed during the inspection.
Die Schrauben haben
I
Bolts have
suppose
come
some things
loose,
you can't
and
even
needs to be
test
fixed.
until the train
One of
goes
the
around the
lawn
track, so
sprinklers for watering the
you're
timber
bound
is
to
missing,
notice a lot of
and
things
the whole
after
thing
you
is
finish
loose.
constructing it.
unten ist alles.
Everything's tight down there, But these two need fastening.
gesichert werden.
We'll let a colleague know and he'll take care of it.
Und der bringt das in
How did
Ordnung.
you see that? How on earth did you see
Everything
that?
is carefully inspected from below as well.
I don't.
After a long
that
dry
fascinates
spell,
me.
slight washer jingling is okay.
Everything's okay here.
Alles in Ordnung.
There are roughly
Does he realise if by hitting it
750,000
with the
nails
sound, what
and
sound it
around
makes?
80
Oh yeah,
tons of
ding,
bolts
that's
and
good.
anchors in the
That's
timber
not good.
structure. The carpenter
That is
then
absolutely
climbs aboard the
incredible.
cherry picker,
That is
which can take
absolutely
him up
incredible.
to a height of 40 meters.
We're going back to the banked turn now. I want to take a look at one of those sprinklers.
The cherry picker.
Because I saw that the other one is loose, so I'd like to check whether that one is loose as well.
He's hardly come down before he goes back up for a final check of the rear lawn sprinkler. Time is now pressing.
It's tight. Mission accomplished. My colleagues are still going around, and I have to go to the station now.
At the station, the Colossus team is awaiting the final assessment.
Yeah, everything's okay. We found one small thing. We'll take care of that right away. The most important thing now is to discuss with my colleagues what's been found, and that everything went well so they can get the trial run started. I can't complain. It's been a good day and great weather.
The great weather and the reopening attract masses of people. And today, everyone wants to ride on Colossus.
Yeah, so do I.
At the moment, though, the trains are still empty and creeping into the station. The final technical tests are underway. All signals and safety systems are checked, so nothing is left to chance. The trains then do a couple of test laps. Empty.
Misha, you doing the test run? No? Oh, it's you. Attention. Misha's doing a test run. So take position.
After the unmanned runs, the park's employees are allowed to do a test
Oh my
lap.
god, I'll be so nervous, but I would love to do
It's
it.
always
Imagine if
claimed
you...
that the guests are the first ones on the track, but that's not true, of course. Logically, we have to do our own acceptance runs.
Yeah, we risk
It's
the lives
fun
of
on
our
one hand, but
employees.
also necessary to get a feel for things with your bottom meter, as we call it.
It's all in the
Is the track
contract.
good? We've got test values and so on that tell you all this, but it's better to test it subjectively. If we enjoy it, the rest of the world should finally enjoy it now too.
I'm sure they will. I'm sure they do. And I really hope I'm able to enjoy it soon. Oh, the effect.
2 minutes and 23 seconds from the lift back to the station.
2 minutes 23.
For
So that's what I
Carpenter
said. Just
Kastenhennig,
2 minutes of
it was the
time.
first
All
time
that for 2
in a
minutes.
long time.
Fantastic.
But it's
The
so
hills.
worth it.
Just
I
great
bet
when
it's
you're
so
coming up to the
worth it.
figure. Wow.
Then finally the gates open. The visitors flock to their long-anticipated Colossus. The people responsible have been testing it up to the very last second.
We want to run at full capacity straight away. That's why we tested it. We gave ourselves half an hour, so there are no interruptions in operation later on. Party's about to kick off now. The public's really up for it.
All systems run
God,
perfectly.
I'm nervous for them for some reason. I don't know why I'm nervous.
Open and close the entrance doors. And then the most important thing, of course, start the train so the guests can have fun.
I like the little nervous laugh at the end there.
The first train filled with visitors starts off, marking the official reopening of Colossus. 3
Look at the
years
excitement.
after it closed.
3 years. I thought 4 years, but 3 years.
At 110 kilometers per hour, back and forth, up and down, 1.5 kilometers over wooden rails. And right at the end, the new highlight. The Demon with a healthy dose of show effects.
Yes!
The planners are convinced that they haven't just reopened the ride, but have made it better. Ultimately, though, it's only the guest's opinion that counts for an amusement park.
That was so incredible!
Brilliant. Totally great.
Fast, high, excellent.
Worth repeating. We can take a winter break then, right?
Great.
3 years of work. It's been a long road for the entire team. 20 companies
That must
were
be such an
involved
amazing
in the
feeling when you
complete
finally
revamp,
see it open and
finally
everyone on it and
ensured
people are happy
that
and
Colossus returned. Europe's fastest wooden roller coaster.
It's not just any old project. For us at Heide Park, it's one of the projects in recent years.
Must be such a
Our
relief.
favorite roller coaster, the most popular attraction at the park. It's just fantastic that it's finally running again.
there we go. Colossus in Heide Park. So there you go, guys. What did you think of that reaction video? I thought it was absolutely incredible. The amount of work, the amount of effort, the amount of planning that goes into recreating and renovating such a project. We found out that they weren't just renovating it, they basically created a whole new roller coaster. So I don't know if you could class that as renovating a roller coaster. They pretty much built it from scratch. Well, definitely most of it. They reused some parts, but they created most of it from scratch. Heide Park, Germany documentary there. I really, really enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. And if you have any ideas on future videos that we should react to, any such documentaries on theme parks or any other projects, maybe hotels, stuff like that as well, then do leave a comment below. We really would appreciate your support. If you haven't already, guys, then please do subscribe to the channel. We really would appreciate it. Go and check out previous videos that we have filmed on the channel. We are still a very new channel, so we appreciate any support that comes our way. We really, really, really do. And leave a like, press that notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. We are currently uploading twice a week, on a Wednesday and on a Saturday as well. So do check on by if you wish and you have time to. Then we would appreciate it if you watch our videos. And yeah, just leave a little like. That really would boost our channel and help us along the way. So that's all I have to say for today. Please do comment, like and subscribe, as I said, and we will see you in the next video. Thank you so much, guys. Take care and goodbye for now.